The Curse of the Siren's Lament. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the restless North Atlantic with a crimson hue, Daniel, a seasoned marine salvage expert, surveyed the turbulent waters with a growing unease in his heart. He had heard the haunting tales of the ghost ship called the Siren's Lament for years, a cursed vessel that roamed the seas, seducing unsuspecting sailors to their watery graves. While many dismissed it as mere superstition, Daniel found himself on a mission to uncover the truth, lured by an anonymous letter promising untold riches in exchange for recovering a fabled artifact from the dreaded shipwreck. With a hastily assembled crew, they ventured into treacherous waters, their path shrouded by ominous weather. Swirling dark clouds and an eerie mist enveloped their ship, creating an unsettling atmosphere. "Captain, are you sure this is the right spot?" Sarah, his first mate, asked, her voice trembling. Daniel nodded, though doubt lingered in his mind. "This is it. The Siren's Lament rests beneath these treacherous waves." They anchored their vessel, bracing themselves for the descent into the abyss below. The icy water gripped them like a funeral shroud. The shipwreck of the Siren's Lament emerged from the murky depths, its skeletal remains a haunting sight. Despite the eerie ambience, Daniel's focus remained fixed on the prize, the elusive artifact that promised boundless wealth. Hours passed as Daniel and Sarah navigated the wreck's perilous labyrinth, battling shifting currents and obstructive debris. It was as if the ship itself resisted their intrusion. When hope teetered on the brink of despair, Daniel spotted a gleaming object wedged between rotting timbers. With trembling hands, he reached out to claim it. The artifact was a small, ornate box made of corroded bronze, adorned with intricate carvings of mermaids and sailors, their faces forever etched in terror. It was as though the box contained the collective fear of all who had perished aboard the Siren's Lament. Ascending toward the surface with their prize, the sea came alive with malevolent energy. Ghostly apparitions materialized on their ship, illuminated by their torches, the lost souls of the Siren's Lament. Their faces twisted in agony, their eyes filled with insatiable hunger. Vengeful spirits surrounded them, their icy fingers brushing against their skin, sending shivers of dread down their spines. One by one, Daniel's crew members were wrenched away, their terrified cries consumed by the relentless sea. Beneath the surface, more damned spirits emerged from the dark depths, swarming around Sarah first, clawing at her body, and dragging her back with them into the inky abyss. Panic washed over Daniel as he witnessed the horror, and then more spirits came for him, ripping through his wetsuit and tearing off his goggles and breather. Managing to break free, Daniel propelled himself toward the surface. "Keep moving. Do not look back," Daniel shouted in his mind, his heart pounding with terror, his lungs burning and on the verge of bursting, longing for fresh air. Daniel surfaced in a frenzy, gasping for air and clutching the cursed artifact. Sarah was nowhere to be found, and the once serene waters had transformed into a chaotic whirlpool. Their ship had vanished, replaced by a spectral replica, the Siren's Lament itself, its sails tattered, its wood decaying. Driven by desperation, Daniel climbed aboard the ghostly vessel. The artifact in his hand pulsed with otherworldly energy, beckoning him deeper into the ship's malevolent interior. The air reeked of decay, and eerie whispers reverberated through the corridors. Following the haunting melody, Daniel found himself powerless to resist its call. It led him to a chamber bathed in an eerie, greenish light. In the center stood a figure, her back turned to him. She wore a tattered, sea-soaked gown, her long, wet hair clinging to her pallid skin. "Who are you?" Daniel demanded, his voice quivering. The figure slowly turned, revealing empty, soulless eyes that seemed to penetrate the very depths of his being. It was the spirit of the siren, the entity that had ensnared countless sailors in its deadly embrace. "You have taken what is mine," she hissed, her voice a chilling whisper that sent shivers down Daniel's spine. The artifact in his hand glowed brighter, and the Siren's Lament itself seemed to awaken, its ghostly crew emerging from the shadows. They reached out to him with skeletal hands, their eyes filled with longing. With no choice, Daniel surrendered the cursed artifact to the siren. As he placed it in her outstretched hand, a terrible wail filled the air, and the shipwrecked sailors dissolved into mist, their torment finally released. The siren turned away, clutching the artifact to her chest. With a mournful look, she beckoned him to leave. As he stumbled back through the haunted corridors of the ship, the Siren's lament slowly dissolved into the mist, vanishing into the depths of the sea with Daniel splashing into the icy water beneath. Daniel resurfaced from the abyss, his struggles to stay afloat were futile. He was utterly alone, separated from his once loyal crew, and now accompanied by the lifeless, waterlogged form of his first mate, Sarah. Her eyes, once vibrant and filled with determination, now stared lifelessly into the abyss, reflecting the devastating toll the Siren's curse had taken. Fatigue weighed heavily on Daniel's limbs, and the frigid waters clawed at his strength, relentlessly pulling him under. His mind, clouded with desperation, could do nothing but watch helplessly as Sarah's lifeless body bobbed eerily beside him. The haunting melody of the Siren's voice continued to echo in his ears, a mournful dirge for those who had succumbed to the relentless grip of the ocean's curse. The Siren had no mercy for those who dared to intrude upon her realm. Her seductive call, once a promise of untold riches, had become a death sentence. As she finally claimed Daniel, his consciousness faded, and the cold embrace of the ocean's depths became his final resting place.